Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Second Chance podcast. My name is Christian.
My name is Evan.
And we're glad you're with us today. It's been a good bit of snow coming down recently here in Newfoundland.
Yeah. What was it, Tuesday? We had a huge dump. Or Monday, it was.
Yeah.
Snow was crazy. It rained directly after, so the snow was like 20 pounds
Oh,
or something
man.
in the shovel.
It's like cement, right? You go ahead and use your snowblower,
Yeah.
or if you got a snowblower, and as soon as I would go and I would push into the snow, it would literally build up in front of the bucket, and I'm like, oh, come on. But thankfully, I got a good neighbor across the road who clears me out a little bit. So Evan,
Yes.
take us away. Let's do a little recap of our last episode.
So last episode, we went through the second chapter of Ecclesiastes, and we had our lovely friend Gord come on with us and read some passages. Old Gandalf. And we discussed how bleak times can look, and, just that there's hope in the darkness, even when you can't see it with your own two eyes.
Yeah.
And today, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, today's episode, we wanted to... Actually, we had one of our listeners, we shout out to T.
Yes.
Shout out to T. We really appreciate you, man. And he suggested that why don't you do an episode on first responders? And I was like, man, that actually sounds like a really good idea. And mainly because he suggested that to me because he himself was a volunteer firefighter for years. And I was a RCMP dispatcher for 7 years. And so as soon as he said that, I was like, that's really cool. And so I'm looking forward to this episode. Shout out to all the first responders. If you happen to be listening to this, or if you want to share this to a first responder friend, doesn't matter if it's police, paramedics, you got your fire department, you also got the dispatchers as well, right? They're all first responders, and any other groups as well, search and rescue, all of them.
Everyone has their role to play.
Exactly.
That's like I seen a commercial the other day where it was a real 911 call made by a kid, and they had lined up like 5 or 6 different first responders and like different branches of the emergency.
Yeah.
And people guessed which of them they thought the call was directed for. It was a firefighter, a paramedic, a bunch of other ones. Mm-hmm. And they were all wrong. And this woman stepped up who was a part of social services.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
wow.
They're just as important, like child protective services.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, often they're involved in calls, especially with families, right? So they usually get brought into that as well. Yeah. Before we dive into our episode dedicated to first responders, it's funny, you and I have been playing a game lately that has absolutely nothing to do with first responders at all.
Speaking of first responders, we've been playing a game recently that has nothing to do with first responders.
Again, this is why we're so random. But anyway, of course, Fortnite's been around forever.
Yeah,
it feels like, and I was never into that game.
Nah.
Like, what about you? Because you're a lot younger than I was. I was, as if I'm dead. I'm not that old. Yeah.
I've been playing. I played it once or twice, like with my cousins or something like that. But it was never really something that I fully got into.
Yeah.
Really.
And like, we're not hardcore into it.
Nah.
But we casually play, and when we do,
it is a fun time.
It's a laugh.
I wouldn't play it by myself.
No.
It's a bit like, get out of here.
Yeah.
I want to be shot at.
But it's funny because, like you said, we've been playing together now for a bit, and you really learn a lot about someone too. Like, you know how like you and I, like when we're playing, we're like, yeah, wait, let's call the shot, let's go in together, right? Let's not rush ahead. And then sometimes, depending on like, I guess maybe whatever mood we're in, we're like halfway across. Like, wait, come back.
Yeah.
You're gone in by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about team building.
Yeah. So, again, as I'm sure all of our listeners are well aware, we don't make a dime from Epic Games or anyone else for that matter. No. So, this is not promoting Fortnite. I guess it's sort of in a way it is, but not in the sense of making money off of it, but anyway.
The same way we'd be promoting a clothes brand by just having it on. Like,
thank God. Okay.
Whoops.
Yeah, whoopsie. All right, so we're going to dive into our topic today, the first responders. And I wanted to just read something to you all just for a moment. I've actually, just preparing for this episode, I decided to find something, from an actual good source, and it's called the Shield Journal. Shout out to them. You may never hear me say that, but that's okay. Maybe you are. But anyway, just listen to this, our listeners. It's really cool. I'm not reading it all. I'm just going to read a little tiny portion. But it's called the Call I'll Never Forget. True Stories from Emergency Dispatchers and 911 Operators. And there's a difference, by the way, between those two things. There's a big difference.
Okay.
So I'll say the difference in a second, but I want to read this first. If you saw them in the street, you probably wouldn't recognize them. They don't carry a gun or wear a shiny badge. They don't drive an ambulance, a patrol car, or a fire truck. They are often working when most people are home in their beds. They're missing family functions, dance recitals, school plays, working long hours to keep their communities safe. Their pictures don't often make the paper, and they rarely make the news. These are emergency telecommunicators, the unsung heroes of the first responder world. 911 operators and emergency dispatchers work tirelessly behind the scenes as the first point of contact in emergency response situations. The way an operator handles a call can sometimes be the difference between life and death. Although it can be incredibly rewarding, being an emergency telecommunicator also comes with risks. Rates of depression, anxiety, and PTSD are almost 3 times higher among emergency call takers than among the general population. And the last little thing I want to leave you guys with is in Canada, dispatchers and 911 operators are actually classified as first responders under federal law. But in other regions, they're classified as administrative personnel and do not have the same access to mental health supports like other first responders. And I just want to read that for a moment, that's all, because when I was a telecommunications operator with the RCMP, for the longest time, I never considered myself at all a first responder. At all. I just considered myself like the in-between guy, where I would take a call, I'm in between the caller and the member or the police officer. And before I even get into that, I just want to do a shout out to B Division RCMP, to all those operators, and also to the RNC Comm Center. Like, those people are amazing, and they really do. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I've never seen, Evan, a group of people work so well. I compare them to a well-oiled machine. I remember one night when I was working there, I actually said that, I don't know if out loud or I said it to myself. It's like a well-oiled, geared machine where every piece is working just right, and you're always there for the other person and your team, right? Yeah. So anyway, just a quick shout-out to you guys, because I worked a lot of hours with them, and there's still so many there working from when I was, I hope. But anyway, yeah. So one of the things too, like whenever I tell someone, I'm like, oh yeah, I used to be a telecommunications operator. And they say, oh, you did 911. And I'm like, no, actually, they're completely different. A 911 operator is the first point of contact, and they will get vital information, usually first point of contact, I should say. And they will get they'll say, like, please fire ambulance. Like, what do you need? And they'll just fire them, right? Speed is of the essence. But RCMP or RNC or wherever you're from in the world, if you're a telecommunications operator, you take everything from the basic calls of, oh, is this the detachment? No, it's not. What can I help you with? To serious incidents. Yeah. Right? So anyway, I wanted to share that a little bit about the first responders, but in particular from a dispatcher, because that's what I used to be. And, like I had 7 years under my belt. That was, in my mind, that's a long time, but there's other operators there way longer than that. But I do remember, though, when I did work there, there were a bunch over time either left to go get new positions somewhere else, or retired, or medically went off, or whatever, because it is a taxing job. There's no doubts about that.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No. But rewarding at the same time. Like, I learned a lot, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. And the friendships that I made from there, too. Yeah. So, Evan, you were doing a little bit of research?
I was doing a little bit of research. Had some fun facts. Some are fun, some might not be.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious, because... So, we like to do this pretty spontaneously. So, I have no idea, besides one thing that you found. So, this is... We don't like to script our show too much.
nah. So I will fire that one off first, because the element of surprise won't be there for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Over 2/3 of U.S. firefighters are volunteers.
That's a massive number.
2/3 of U.S. firefighters.
Wow.
Not making a dime off of doing what regular firefighters are doing.
Wow.
There's something noble about that.
Yeah. And, like, I know around here, too, like, we have volunteer.
Plenty of
like,
volunteer.
Right? There's just one there in CBS. There's, you know, I know in the forest, well, there's multiple around, but there's, I know the one just up the road from us. And, you know, when the forest fires were going here this summer, right? They were volunteers, full beans going the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and again when I was in college, you'd have people set up in booths and things like that, like paramedics or firefighters or something like that, just looking for volunteers.
Oh, okay.
But,
Yeah.
here's another one that's kind of crazy. I didn't even really think about it, but a house fire can reach 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit or 593 Celsius in just 3 minutes, which is hot enough to melt metal.
Wow.
So if you're in there for any more than 3 minutes, you're in trouble.
Wow.
That's how fast you got to be on your feet, right? Mm-hmm. Call it in, get there in less than 3 minutes.
Wow. You know, one of the things, too, is that, you know, sometimes when we think of firefighters, I know, like, maybe this might be the general public's perspective at times, because this is what I found when I did, you know, when I worked with police. You know, people often think of firefighters as just going to fires, too, but they go to so much. Like, they go to accidents all the time. You know, they go to, you know, medical calls, right? It depends, you know, if the ambulance is going to get there first, but often it doesn't. Like, there's always fire trucks going around, and I know, you know, like, they used to call into us asking, you know, for more information, you know, at times, right? If we got updates or whatever.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. What else you got on that thing? Hit me one more. But not literally.
Nope. I ain't gonna hate you. First responders during 9/11 saved 25,000 people.
Wow. Wow.
With how tragic that was, that's a lot of people that did not have to die because of first responders.
Wow. 25,000.
25,000.
I think it was it close to 2 or just over 2,000 that died from the attacks? That includes the planes too, the 4 planes. I can't fully remember, but I actually just recently watched the documentary on 9/11 again with all they got like some new footage out and stuff. And man, I tell you, I can't fathom, because, you know, first responders, police officers too. Like, I had a couple of good buddies of mine. One of them's dad at our school. He's a police officer, and, like, I can't fathom, Evan. Like, I used to be on the end of a phone line, taking calls, right, and then sending help. I can't imagine, man. Like, every day, going to houses, pulling people out of stuff, arresting people, you know, protecting people. Like, I think of, like, down in the States, like, you know, a bit of a darker thing, but like the school shootings and like the police officers, man, like they just, you know, they just go right in, like, you know, go after them. And I'm telling you, I don't know what we do, right?
It's a job with very little room for error.
And it's one of those jobs too, for, you know, definitely some services. It can be a thankless job. I remember one night, I'll never forget it. It's funny, I haven't thought of this in years, but it was Christmas Day, I think it was. It was either Christmas Day or New Year's Day. And because whatever your rotation fell on is usually what you had to work. And it wasn't me, but someone that I was working with got a phone call, and it was this lady, and she just called in, and she purposely just called in to say thank you to the police. And when all you do that day is just take calls, some of them's foolishness, some of them's deadly serious, and then you get that blip in the middle, it's like, I don't know.
That's your whole day made right there.
Yeah. So I have a true story that I wanted to share that's super funny.
Okay.
It's actually ridiculous. It's a true story. So I get a call one day, I'm working, and this guy calls in, and he actually opens the call up. Now, I'm going off my memory now, okay? So I'll do my best to do this right. I will be totally transparent. I might get some of this wrong, but there's some facts that you cannot get wrong with this story. And anyway, the guy calls in, and he says, I answer the phone. I said, RCMP, bonjour. He's like, yes, hello. Well, I had to call in, but you're not going to, I don't think you're going to believe me. And anyway, and I do right away, like, this is going to be a weird call. And he's like, well, I'm up here. And he was up in Salmon Line. Yeah. And he said, I'm up Salmon Line. He said, by a pond. And he said, well, boy, there's a cow out on a rock in the middle of the pond.
Very good.
And I was like, sorry? He's like, yeah, I know. There's a cow. Actually, there's 2 cows on a rock in the middle of a pond.
That's funny.
And anyway, I started laughing, and you're supposed to keep your composure on the call, and he's laughing, so I'm chuckling a bit. Anyway, but I had to treat it seriously, so I had to do up a police file. And anyway, when I had to dispatch it out to the officers over the radio, they were like, repeat that?
You heard me.
Anyway, what it was that true. It was true. There was a couple of cows, and it was definitely one cow. I'm pretty sure. I thought it was 2, but I could be wrong. But it was definitely a cow for sure on that rock in just out from the edge of the pond a bit. But it was far enough out that they could not get off the rock. And like, what are you going to do? Like, what's the police officer going to do? Like, go ride its back or something? Like,
wrangle it with
a rope from shore in the middle of the thick woods. So anyway. The cow eventually got off the rock. But just imagine being on the other end. Like, I can't imagine calling in for... but yet you would have to, because who else are you going to call?
Yeah, like this. I'd say before he called in, he had a solid, at least 5 minutes of saying, am I really going to call the cops for this?
I'm not doing this.
This is stupid.
I'm not doing this. Yeah, so anyway, that was... I remember that one. That was a funny one. Mm-hmm. And, so a little bit of background for myself. When I started in 2015, I was I was only 24 when I did training. And I got in there and I worked a lot of, overtime in the beginning and stuff. And, man, I tell you, it really makes you appreciate, my walk with God. Evan, when I was there, I used to say a prayer, man, every shift before I walked into those doors. I'd say a prayer, and I said, Lord, come in with me and come out with me. I don't know if I ever told anyone that I was working there, but I said that every single shift before I went out, man, because I've had I remember I had calls, I'm not going to get into them, but I had calls, Evan, and I'd come out of that building, man, and I'd cry. Right? And it's so heavy and dark and then, there's other times you'd be thinking about it, like how did it resolve itself, right? And God bless the officers, sometimes they know it bother you a bit and you're talking to them and they might even tell you a little bit, how it resolved or something like that to sort of ease your mind, I'm so glad I did it because honestly, I don't think I'd be teaching right now as a teacher if I never went through my career or my career, whatever it is, with the RCMP. Because that toughened me and gave me the life experience that I needed to be able to hold my own. Because I am a bit of a soft person at heart.
Yeah.
But it really did help prepare me for, leadership roles and things like that, right?
100%.
Yeah.
That's if you're an operator, you got to be sharp as a tack sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
That reminds me of a story. It's fairly popular. You might have heard of it before, but there was this woman who called in to a dispatcher, and she was being very vague with him. And she said, "Can I order a pizza?" Or something. And he said, "Ma'am, I think you got the wrong number." She's like, "No, I got the right number." And you could hear like her husband shouting really like vulgar behind her. And what the dispatcher had to do was he had to come up with rules for yes, no questions and things like that. So he said, if he has a gun, say that you want pineapple on the pizza or something like that. And they played it out super well. You wouldn't have known, but she was just like ordering pizza from somewhere.
Wow.
And they got to her house and they arrested the fella.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I remember I had a call where I had to use yes or no questions because someone had a knife, and anyway, thankfully it resolved well. But I did have to use yes or no, and that was when I was brand spanking new. I had an amazing trainer. Shout out to Paige. She was absolutely amazing, and some awesome friends too, like Deanne and Sandra. They'd be there and they taught me so much, and any questions I ever had, about anything. As soon as they knew that you had something, because there's certain keywords, right? Like if you ever said something like gun, or you ever said, what? Like, they're dead or something like that, right? Because that's the reality of it, okay? They'd be to your side in a moment. They'd be out of their chair in a flash, buddy, and right next to you, and like, what do you need? What do you need?
Yeah.
And helping you out, right? That's what I was saying earlier, like a well-oiled machine. However, it's now that time for our favorite. I'm so excited and laughing.
They're pulling that right after that sentence.
Yeah.
No resolution.
No, just going straight in.
100% break the tension.
Yeah, let's break that tension with a bit of Davakeem.
Woo!
Okay. This Davakeem question. Again, our Davakeem, we don't tell each other what they are.
Nope.
So
that's your turn, I think.
It's my turn. Gord came up with the last Davakeem.
Yeah,
and I also had a sneaky. Yeah, I had him so on the spot. We love you, Gord. He did amazing, by the way.
Yeah, he just came up with that on top of his head.
Like just like he wasn't like there was no prompt, nothing. It was just he came up with that. I did have a sneaky one just in case. Remember, I dropped that one.
Yeah, you dropped the one after.
But I kept it in my back pocket just in case. Anyway, today's Davakeem is it's not super funny. It's not super exciting. It's just to get to know you more. What is your favorite type of pasta?
Favorite type of pasta? Oh, it's not really something I ever thought about before. I'll eat it if it's there.
Yeah.
I'm not very picky.
But is there any types that you've ever had that you like, that you prefer over another?
I'll tell you one thing, actually. It was kind of funny. Today I had, I think it was called like Italian wedding soup or something like that. And the pasta that's in it is like little tiny balls.
Yeah.
And it's super weird, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's awesome.
Not even got to do with taste. It's just, it's funny. It's goofy. I like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love beef stroganoff. And for those of you that might be saying, man, that's more of a meat dish than pasta, you are right. I would say, I don't know if that really fully qualifies as a pasta, but I do love a good, and I'll do my best to pronounce it right, a bacon carbonara. I probably apologize to all the Italian people listening. Not saying my pasta right. However, there is a commercial that was on TV there for Formula One. And anyway, I say it to the kids all the time. I got them drove nuts. So now when we sit down, we eat our pasta. Like it's the Formula One racers. And the guy comes over with a bowl of pasta and hands it to the other fella. And he's like, pasta makes you faster.
Pasta makes you faster.
Anyway,
man.
pasta, love it. Not good for the hips, but that's okay.
Good for the lips.
Good for the lips, not good for the hips. All right, so as we continue on with our first responders, we wanted to read a little bit of scripture. I actually have a book upstairs, which I didn't even think of bringing down, but it's called Scriptures for Peace Officers, right? Peace Officers, and that's obviously for the police line. However, this applies to all of you guys, whether you're in whatever type of role in for first responders. So we got a couple of scriptures here for you.
Yes.
I'm going to read Psalm 91 after that, and we just want to bless you guys as you listen to some of the Word of God. So whenever you're ready, pal.
100%. Some of the verses that came to my mind when it was brought up that we were going to do an episode about first responders was, this is one of them. Is John 15:13. Greater love hath no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends.
Wow.
And it just makes me think of all the first responders, like actually going out and doing all that stuff, like you were saying, going into crazy hot burning buildings and assault calls and crazy stuff like that, and have probably died because of it.
Yeah. One of the most dangerous police duties is pulling someone over on the side of a road, giving them a ticket. That's one of the number one ways that police officers die in this country, is getting hit on the side of the road.
Jeepers.
Yeah, I remember it. Now, you know what? If someone wants to fact check me on that, go ahead. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's one of the number one ways, besides self-harm, right? It's number one ways for police officers is getting hit by vehicles. Because you think about it, you're on the side of a highway. People are going like 100, 110, 120, and distracted driving is a major thing now.
Yeah.
And it's always been very, very dangerous. That's why, and this, I never even got this from the police, but that's why it makes sense when you see a police officer, look where their police car is positioned when they pull someone over.
Yes.
It's usually out to the left of the vehicle that they're behind, and so that they can walk in and, have a bit of a buffer.
Yeah.
Right?
One of the things I'm doing now, or I've been doing it for a while, was I'm studying to get my Class 4 driver's license.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I don't remember studying for Class 5. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But there was a whole page there for what do you do when there's an emergency on the road or on the side of the road or something like that. And that was one of the very things they said is that was it was all too common that someone, like a cop, could get struck on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Just because, there's either not enough space or people aren't paying attention or something like that.
Oh, most definitely.
So they made a whole new thing of, like, if you are in this lane and a cop has someone pulled over to the side of the road, move over.
Go to the left.
Yeah.
Can we say that to every viewer, every listener right now?
To the left, to the left, to the left.
Not that one, Beyonce. But honestly, if you ever see a police officer, you see an ambulance, you see a tow truck, or you see a fire truck, or anyone with their, with emergency services like that, and they're pulled over on the side of the road with lights on, you are supposed to go to the outside lane or the opposite lane and give them a full lane.
Yeah.
Dude, how many times do I see it where I'm driving to work or driving home and you see an officer roadside with someone, got them pulled over, and boy, there are people coming right up alongside of them. I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
Right? It's been said for a while now, so yeah, definitely.
100%.
All right, hit us.
All right. Here's another one. Romans chapter 5, verses 6 to 8 says, For while we were still weak, at the right time Christ died for the ungodly. For one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person one would dare even to die. But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. I would imagine, now this is just my take on it, but I'll ask this to you as well, as someone who has taken calls. I'd imagine you get a lot of silly stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'd imagine you get a lot of hard stuff that maybe the situation you could be thinking in your head, like, this could all just have been avoided if you just did this one simple thing or something like that. And I'd imagine that is cause for a lot of stress.
Oh, yeah.
And going back to that, greater love has no one than would lay down his life for his friends, is someone dying on top of having that going on in your head. Like, no wonder you got to have mental health, like, things available for first responders, whether you're a dispatcher or you're out in the field. Like,
no, it was tough, man. and I was bothered. That's putting it mildly. When I left, I didn't have, thank God, like nightmares or anything like that. But there was other stuff that I've significantly. You can ask my wife, Melissa, but I significantly improved in this area in the area of communication, of conversing with someone and waiting for them to finish what they're trying to say. I was always, as an operator, you're in control of that conversation.
Yeah.
This is what I'm asking. This is what I'm looking for. You got to essentially hurry up because I got other calls coming in, and I got to get this out as soon as possible. And I found afterwards I struggled big time with having patience with certain family members, in particular, in conversation where they're trying to tell me something, and in my mind, I'm like, just get to the point.
Yeah.
But so much so, Evan, I would get irritated with it, right? And I also found that, one of the things that I had to, and I will say this right away, I went to counseling afterwards. Best decision I ever did, and I say this to anyone listening, that you're emergency, responder, first responder, you need to talk to someone. You need to go actually make that effort to talk to a good counselor, good, pastor, someone trusted. Because if you bottle it up, it's not healthy. And man, it did wonders for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trained, you got your brain trained for, was it 7 years you said you were doing that job?
Yeah, pretty much 7, yeah.
So 7 years of naturally hardwiring your brain that you need to get the most important information right away.
Yeah.
That'll take a toll on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And the irritability is a big thing, right? Because then you get people calling in who are just being absolutely foolish or nosy or whatever, and you got no time of day for them. But then you find sometimes that, I don't know, it's so strange. It's a really strange dynamic. But afterwards I really did. In like thinking, because the public does not know what the police deal with, or the firefighters, or the ambulance, nurse, all of them. They have, I'll be honest, it's like they have no clue. That's the way I always thought.
Yeah.
Because while, like I said in that thing I read, that little article, while everyone's asleep, you're up at night hearing about all the bad stuff going on.
Yeah. While
everyone's in their bed, right? I'm generalizing now, everyone in their bed, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And that's why, I think now, when I stop and I pause, now that I've been out of the police now for 4 years, I have such appreciation for them, for my past coworkers and the police in general. Man, it's nuts.
It's a whole other ball game when you're faced with it rather than just faced with the common knowledge of it. Like if someone says, what do you think of first responders? And you've never, you aren't involved in being a first responder,
Sure.
or you've never been put in a situation where you've had to call,
Yeah.
or something like that, you'd say, yeah, I respect them. There's nothing. Sometimes maybe they'd get on your nerves or something like that because they don't come fast enough or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're in that situation, if you're on the end of you have to call the police,
the average population,
yeah,
or the average number of people that call the police, at least this is what it used to be, you usually call them a couple times in your life. For the average person, a couple of times. That's it.
Yeah.
And it can be some of the most stressful things. And so your job as an operator is to calm the person as best as possible. Speaking of which, little tidbit, if you're ever in a really serious situation, saying calm down is one of the worst things you can say to someone.
100%.
It is one of the worst things. I've tried it, and I learned it right from the beginning. And you know what the best thing to do is, at least I found from my experience, and I've used it since I left the police too, is take a breath for me. take a breath for me.
Yeah.
Because if you have someone who's found someone deceased, you're in someone that just came upon an accident, and it's bad, and they're, yeah, I'm here, right? And they're like that, and then you would say to them, or I remember I used to say to them, I said, okay, I need you to take a breath for me. Breathe in, right? Okay, breathe out, take a breath. And what it's doing is that it's actually helping to calm the person a bit and get oxygen up to the brain so that can even fire properly, right?
Yeah.
Because, of course, when you're highly stressed, it starts shutting you a bit, right?
Yeah. It's the opposite of your, what do you call it, fight or flight, the thing that brings you down.
Exactly.
It's the slow breathing.
Exactly, right? So, yeah, I used to use that a bit. And but I wanted to read Psalm 91.
Oh, I got one more.
Oh, hit me.
Yep. This one is a little bit of an explanation, but is really cool.
Yeah.
I thought I'd bring it up.
Go ahead.
It's Matthew chapter 16, verse 18.
Okay.
This is when Jesus is saying to Peter, and I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. And this is the part that I thought was cool.
Okay.
He says, the gates of hell shall not prevail against us. Where he is when he's telling Peter this is he's in a place called Caesarea Philippi.
Yes. Northern Galilee area.
Yeah. Which was, at that time, known for being a Greek pagan, ritualistic site where horrible stuff would go down. Child sacrifice and junk.
Everything.
And Jesus walked right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Told a sermon,
yeah,
which was pretty cool, and says to Peter, I will build my church with you. And where we stand right now, the gates of hell, because that was another name for this place, Caesarea Philippi was known as the gates of hell.
Yes.
There was a big trench or something like that.
There's a cave.
Yeah. A big cave.
That was
known to be like the gates of hell or something
like that. They thought it was a portal to the underworld.
Yeah, very good.
And when you talked about sacrifices, right, when they weren't sacrificing gross as it is, like people, what they believe, I did a study on this. Peter Pan, right? Oh. Pan is one of the gods.
Yeah.
And that was where he was the god of that area.
Oh. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And he's the only god in mythology. I don't know if it's Greek or Roman, but he's the only one to actually die and not come back. Don't quote me on that, anyone. Again, I'm going off my head. But they would take a sacrifice, and in that cave there was a watery hole, and it was like black, and you couldn't see down there. It was like bottomless, is what they thought, and they thought it was the portal to the underworld. So they would go ahead, and you'd flick your sacrifice in, which would be like a goat cut, right, slit his throat, throw it in, and if it sunk, it was accepted. If it was risen to the top, as they floated, it was not. It was rejected. Crazy, right?
Very good.
But I love that scripture because Jesus is literally saying, he's like, I'm here by this demonic portal, temple, whatever you call it.
Yeah, and he's not in like a little nook saying this either. He's out like right in the middle of the field. He's saying like, this place will not prevail against the church that I am going to build through you.
Exactly.
And that's first responders as well. Like, you can't have any fear going in. You got to go straight into the action. You got to know what you're doing. You got to, I'd imagine, psych yourself up, because there's no part of the human body that wants to enter a freaking house fire or a place that you know full well is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah. I was reading there, and then I'll read this scripture, but I was reading there a little while ago about the Nova Scotia shootings, right? That happened there a few years back, and that was bad. That was, for those of you who don't know, that was a retired dentist, and he went on a shooting spree and killed dozens of people. Dark, sick, twisted person. And anyway, he killed one officer in particular, was Heidi Stevenson, and she actually drove her vehicle, from what I read on this thing, at his vehicle and collided head on, and then tried to, have it out, and he ended up killing her. But, she heroically gave her life.
Yeah.
It's like the pilots, when 9/11 happened, you mentioned 9/11.
Yeah. There
was two fighter pilots. I watched a documentary that it was a male and female, and they got the call that there was the plane that went down in Pennsylvania in the field. They got the call that was they had intercepted, and so they went up, and Evan, they didn't have time to put missiles on it. They had no ammunition on their fighters, and they were going to collide the jets, and they decided amongst themselves in the air, all right, you're going, I'm going first. No, I'm going. No, you got a family. I'm going first. And they were prepared to slam their jets into the wings of that to take her down. And but before they had a chance to do that, the passengers, the heroic people on that plane took it down, right? Put it down in the field, and they all died. But they saved who knows how many.
Talk about determination, eh? Arguing with one of your buddies to say, I am going to go.
Oh, I can't fathom it, right? I even got the goosebumps just now saying that, right? And so, for police officers and firefighters and paramedics and everybody, SARS, right, search and rescue, that go ahead and they risk their lives. And then, it bugs me, Evan, and I'll say this, it bugs me when you hear people say, something's happening. It's like, oh yeah, cops are never there when they're supposed to be, or they're never there when you need them.
Yeah.
And I've heard that negativity said so much. I'm like, and in my mind, and especially since I've worked with them and helped them, I was like, man, you got no idea what you're talking about. Like, they could be dealing with a serious domestic, they could be dealing with a rollover.
Yeah.
And there's just no one getting your one person at that one specific moment.
I'm not naming names.
Yeah.
But I find it's people that say things like that why don't you call them?
Yeah.
If you're seeing it, and you're letting it go on, and it's something that is horrible and shouldn't be going on, call them. What? Even if it's like a just in case.
Yeah.
Like, if worst case scenario, it's just whatever, something silly, but you shouldn't have any grounds to be charged for taking precaution.
Well, that's like when the forest fires were happening here, and there were people complaining about, they're not doing their job and stuff like that. I remember, I don't know if it was online or if it was said on the radio, and someone said to them, if you think you can do a better job, join the volunteer fire department.
Yeah,
put your words where your mouth, your actions where your mouth is, right?
Yeah, right.
All right. Psalm 91.
It's one of my favorite ones.
He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. Two different things, by the way, a shield and buckler.
That's a sword and shield, isn't it?
No, a shield was just like your standard thing, but the buckler is a little round one that goes on your arm, near your sword arm. Oh. And it's like an extra little buffet of defense. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge, no evil shall be allowed to befall you. No plague will come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they'll bear you up, lest your foot strike against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder. The young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot. And here's what I love. And this, I think we'll end it off with this for today.
Yeah.
To you, first responders, because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. This is the Lord speaking. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. And so we just want to say thank you.
Yeah, man, I don't even think that sums it up.
No.
Thank you.
No.
There's things that you deal with that almost unfathomable to a certain extent. How evil the world can be.
Yeah.
And you're the one that's responsible for, well, seemingly how it's going to end up.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a tough job for those that I've spoken to that are police officers. I've said I would never want to be a police officer. But I have such respect for those that are. I wouldn't be able to do it. I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to handle it mentally, right? And but yes, and for me, and I know from you, from us here at Second Chance Podcast, the big staff of two, we just want to say thank you, and for everything that you do, the hours that go unnoticed by many, but the dedication and your heart that you put into it, and to all the telecommunications operators, 911 operators,
whatever field you're in,
to all of you.
Everything, like you were saying, is a well-oiled machine. You take one cog out of it and it's gone.
Exactly. And so we just want to sign off today. We love you guys, and thank you, Terran, for suggesting this episode topic today. If anyone else would like to suggest a topic, we'd love to hear from you. You can message us through Facebook. You can also click and do messaging through Spotify or Apple. There's a little option there. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful week. Talk to you next time.
God bless.